Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett, and we want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are working on for your Saturday. If you are like me, you are cold right now. Definitely be glad that I am indoors right now. So stay tuned in just a few minutes. We're going to have First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin give us a look at tonight and what we can expect for the rest of the weekend. Definitely more cold weather on the way, so he's going to explain that here in just a few. In the meantime, we do have a little bit of a breaking update to give you. We do know that fire crews are on the scene of a fire in Lithonia. According to DeKalb County Fire Captain Jason Daniels, he's saying this is a residential fire. At this point, no reports of any injuries, but we do have a crew on the way right now to bring us more information on that. Quick programming note, you can join us tonight at 10 and 11. We hope you joined us already at 6 p.m. It's been quite a while since we've had a 6 o'clock newscast, so we want to keep you covered whether you're watching on TV, if you are streaming us, or if you're watching online. We hope you'll join us at 10 on Peachtree TV or tonight at 11 on CBS. So we're going to have more of an update for you on that. In the meantime, we do want to give a look at a story that we've been working on all day yesterday. We do have an update today on this boil water advisory if you live in South Cobb County. We have some video of that. The good news here is that the water has been cleared to drink. They did a test, and the results of that water quality test determined that the water was fine to drink, fine to consume again after a water main break yesterday. It happened yesterday around 1 in the morning, a 36-inch main break that happened on Macedonia Road near Red Rose Drive in Powder Springs. I was out there myself yesterday. Crews were working hard in that cold weather too, really 24 hours to get everything back up and running. Now, do keep in mind that because of the work that they were doing on the road, Macedonia Road has been brought down to just one lane. So if that's a road that you frequent, go ahead and keep in mind that you are probably going to have some delays if you live or if you work in that area. But the good news here is for those who were in the cities of Powder Springs, Austell, Mableton, even sections of Marietta and Smyrna that were all previously under that boil water advisory yesterday, that has since been lifted today. So you don't need to worry about that anymore. But some neighbors were saying that as a result of all the water that spilled out, their yards are not in good shape now. So there is still work ahead, unfortunately. But the good news here is that the water quality is safe to drink. You're safe to go about your normal activities there. But there just may be a little bit more of a delay when it comes to getting the road back up and running, as of course they had to dig up that water main yesterday. I spoke with a gentleman basically happening practically in his front yard, and he said that he thought he was going to need a boat to get out of there. And he was very concerned yesterday that he wouldn't be able to get out and watch the 49ers play. He says that was his team. So hopefully now all is resolved and he's able to do that. All right. Bringing you now to our next story. This is what our reporter Joshua Skinner is covering for us this evening. It was actually on January 22nd, back in 1973, when the Supreme Court announced their decision on Roe versus Wade, and that ruling stood for nearly 50 years until it was overturned in 2022. So we have some video here of a rally that was taking place earlier today. This was the group Regulate Guns, Not Women, and they were standing outside of the Fox Theater. The group is Ban Guns, Not Women. As you can see, they were holding their signs there that were advocating for abortion rights. So outside of the Fox Theater today, this group was gathering. They have held other protests in various places around Metro Atlanta, but today the spot was Midtown. And they are doing this, they say, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, they're performing multiple shows at the Fox Theater that evening, and as the show was ending, people were pouring out of the building into the streets, that crowd greeting them, giving them pins, stickers. Now, January 22nd marks 51 years since that original Roe versus Wade decision was handed down. As we said, overturned about a year and a half ago, but certainly people out there advocating today for abortion rights, and this decision, still people showing up to say that the fight is not over, and they say that it will not be for quite some time. So Certainly a large crowd out there today advocating for abortion rights. Again, Joshua Skitter, he's going to have more. He brings us inside of this rally, and he's going to have more on that later tonight. But this was the latest to take place in Midtown, 51 years after Roe versus Wade was originally enacted. And again, it was overturned in 2022. Those out there today say their fight is not over, wanting legal abortion all across the country. These next stories that we want to tell you about are if you are maybe looking for a little extra money. Here are some job opportunities for you in Fulton County. So Fulton County elections, they are actually working for poll workers. We know that election season is pretty much in full swing at this point, and they want to make sure that they have people to help all of this run smoothly. So today, Fulton County held a poll worker recruitment fair to help meet that need. Poll workers, they can earn up to $400 by working on election day. So if you're interested in that, you can go to our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. We have a link on how to apply. And if you're not interested in actually working at the polls, county officials do say everyone needs to be aware of the redistricting this year. We have resources for you on atlantanewsfirst.com. So go ahead and check that out. But hey, if you're wanting to earn some money and you're wanting to help out, this is one way that you can do that. Another opportunity for you in Fulton County, maybe you say, I want to give back, but I'm more of an animal lover myself. Well, guess what? The Fulton County Animal Shelter, they are looking for you. And I mean, my goodness, how can you say no to these sweet little faces? They also held a recruitment fair of their own. The county's Animal Services Department is looking for people that can help out with various positions. Some of those include animal care specialists and supervisors, coordinators, veterinary assistants. They held this job fair today at their brand new shelter on Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Lifeline Animal Project runs this shelter. Again, if this is something that you're interested in, you can contact them directly, or we have more information for you on our website. And speaking of pets, something so important is it's a good idea to go ahead and bring them inside because it's going to dip down cold tonight. And also just something to keep in mind as you take your dog out on a walk, those little paws can be very sensitive to the cold. So certainly something you want to keep in mind as we head into tonight, as we head into the weekend, and as we look ahead into this week when this cold weather is going to be sticking around. So speaking of that weather, let's go ahead and take you outside. We're going to give you a live look over Marietta Square. Calm out there right now, but boy, if you are out and about enjoying the square, we see quite a few people out here, you definitely want to put on multiple layers. Cutter, I've got my sweater on today. I've got my jacket walking around here in the newsroom.
Oh, yeah.
So certainly outside, I don't know, about 10 times worse than that.
Yeah, you get within 2 feet of a window, and you can already start to feel it. Temperatures back in the mid-20s in the city of Atlanta. There in Marietta, where you're seeing the camera over Marietta Square, it is in the lower 20s at the moment. So obviously folks are still getting out and about. They are still enjoying their evening, but they are doing so bundled up, and for good reason. It is absolutely frigid outside. Temperature is well below freezing. In fact, the city of Atlanta only made it up to about 32 degrees. Officially, the freezing mark today in many remained colder than 32 degrees, below the freezing mark today. So it was an absolutely freezing day across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, and certainly the cold air is not going anywhere too fast. Want to thank you for continuing to stream ANF Plus here. We're keeping you updated now with a check of your first alert forecast. And a reminder, if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, YouTube, that's the account to stream on. And again, you can follow the account. You don't even have to ask a weather question, address comment, concern with the forecast. I will be monitoring that feed just to my left. We do have some folks watching. Wesley Millsap, Tom and Jerry Fanatic 2024, the avatar on YouTube. Hello to you. Thank you for watching and for tuning in. If you do have any questions, again, give me a holler, and we'll continue to keep you updated. So we're going to load up the weather graphics here, and again, we are tracking cold first and then a warm-up. Everyone's excited about that, but with the warm-up comes much cloudier, gloomier weather and an increasing chance that we're going to be dealing with quite a bit of rain as we get into the middle and latter portion of next week. For now, though, the story is the cold. Wind chill advisory in effect, county shaded in that kind of light blue color, and we'll be tracking cold air and a breeze that's strong enough. It's not as windy as it was earlier, but certainly still strong enough to produce wind chills down close to zero. So it is going to be very, very cold overnight tonight. We know that. Factor in the light breeze, it's going to feel even colder, bitterly cold, in fact. That is the story. And thankfully, good news, we're almost done with it. Almost done with the extreme stuff, almost done with the well below normal temperatures, and almost done with freezes. Tonight is not the last freeze in the 7-day. We have tonight, and then we have tomorrow night. But already the difference between tonight and tomorrow night, big jump up in temperature. But I do want to remind you, wind chill advisory went into effect about an hour ago, and it remains in effect until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Wind chills down to around zero during that time in county shaded and that light blue. Now, just because you live in Clark and Oconee counties, Athens, just because you live in Eatonton doesn't mean that you're going to be significantly warmer, but maybe just a handful of degrees warmer there off to the south and east of the city of Atlanta. Winds also a little lighter potentially in that area as well, helping to keep it just a little bit warmer. I decided to stay in and watch cartoons today, and the Cartoon Network is what I watch. It's not only frigid, it's bone chilling outside. It is. Glad you were able to find something inside. That way you could avoid the chill. I was kind of inside and outside today. I bundled up to stay warm, but I did go outside a little bit. So if you do love the outdoors, it was a gorgeous sunny day. You just had to bundle up to get outside. All right, current temperatures right now. Take a look at these numbers. East Point already down to 22 degrees, 20 in Dunwoody, 20 in Marietta, 21 Sandy Springs, 24 Conyers, downtown 22, Beaufort Academy up in Gwinnett County, 21. Alpharetta is at 20, so it won't be long, and we'll be in the teens. Frigid. In fact, we're outpacing last night as far as current temperature. So tonight went a little bit colder. We were about 17 this morning. I went 16 for a low temperature officially at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport tonight and 2 tomorrow morning. Would not be surprised if we end up just a little bit colder. In fact, I'm going to be revisiting some data here over the next couple of hours. May lower Atlanta's forecast low temperature. Coldest so far this winter, that was 13 just a handful of days ago with round number 1 of Arctic air. And we were 17 this morning, shooting tomorrow morning for mid-teens once again. That's inside the city, outside of I-285, low to mid-teens. It's going to be absolutely frigid out the door tomorrow morning. Here is that hour-by-hour forecast. Again, we're running a little bit ahead of schedule. The airport, though, technically just a little bit warmer than some of those thermometers we were just looking at. In fact, as of 16 minutes ago, Hartsfield-Jackson is reporting a temperature of, and I'm looking this up right here in the moment, of 24. So a little bit warmer than some of those temperatures there. We were going 25 for the top of the 8 o'clock hour, down to 24. So if anything, the trend has been for it to cool just a little bit more quickly than data was indicating, because the sky is clear, winds are lighter, the air is very, very dry, lips are chapped, skin is very dry. Everyone's dealing with that. And those ingredients, so to speak, really make for a cold night and early Sunday morning. Low temperatures, when you see pinks on the map, it is bone-chilling cold, and we are talking real cold stuff tomorrow morning. 4 degrees, your forecast low temperature in Blairsville, Blue Ridge, Ivy Log, Helen, some of our higher elevation communities, much the same, probably single digits tomorrow. Even Canton down to around 10 degrees for a low temperature tomorrow morning. Gainesville 14, Rome 11, Carrollton 11, LaGrange 14, 16 in Atlanta, 15 in Griffin, and 15 in Covington. So just about everybody in the teens, but there will be some single digits around the metro, 11 to maybe 15 or 16. Your forecast low temperatures tomorrow morning. Coldest North Fulton and DeKalb and the west side as well. Even South Fulton, 13 in Palmetto. The city of South Fulton, close to that, Union City, probably about 14, 15. Douglasville, a forecast low temperature of 12 degrees tomorrow morning. And that low, the coldest point of the morning, occurring before 8 a.m., about 7:30 in the morning, just to give you a time reference there for the cold. Will there be an anniversary of Winter Storm Leon that struck Atlanta? I think I know what I am referring to. Not sure about Winter Storm Leon. Winter storms are not formally named. Some media agencies do choose to do that, but I'm not even sure which one Leon was. But we do not name them here at Atlanta News First. The National Weather Service does not name winter storms. So you'll have to give me maybe a date, and I can elaborate a little bit more on that. Back to the forecast, though, and again, chatting with folks on YouTube. If you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, just holler on YouTube. And a reminder, we can always catch the forecast away from the TV in the First Alert weather app and at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. And right now, we're gearing up here. Time is 8:19 for our 10 o'clock news on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate. And then we'll be back with that full forecast and maybe a freshly lowered low temperature on the late news tonight at 11 on WANF. Coffee Cast tomorrow morning. Again, back to that First Alert forecast. Wesley Millsap, the Weather Channel, is in charge of naming storms. Wesley, they are not in charge of naming storms. That is just a thing they choose to do. It is not a formal process. It is not sanctioned by the National Weather Service, nor the Storm Prediction Center, nor the Climate Prediction Center. Again, they're not in charge of doing it. They have just chosen to do so. And that is a private thing that they do, but not something that is formally recognized, not something that that anyone is formally in charge of. Dexter Green saying, good evening to you, Dexter. Thanks for watching. My question, I wanted to know, why is it very cold in Georgia the past few years? Is global warming the reason for temperature changes? That is an interesting question. So it's very, as we study climate change and global warming, there is a lot that is still being studied. There is still a lot that we don't know, but there is some evidence to suggest that not that the air is getting, air masses are getting colder and certain air masses are getting hotter necessarily. They're just an increasing frequency, so we're running warmer than average over an extended period of time, colder than average. We see less and less of that. And what is happening here at times, and what some of the studies have shown, is that the jet stream tends to relax a little bit. So rather than being, a very tight kind of line across the United States, so to speak, of course we can't see it, up in the sky, and kind of keeping the coldest air locked up north, it gets a little bit more ripply and more wavy and allows very cold air masses up in Canada to drop southward at greater frequency. We had a hard freeze, a big freeze last year, and we've had a pretty substantial two blasts of cold air this week. Now, nothing record-breaking this go-around, but Dexter, that's a good question, and the main evidence to suggest that it's possible is that the warming of the world and other things that could be impacting the jet stream in particular and the polar vortex, something that has always existed up in northern Canada. It's strengthened its ability to weaken and kind of wobble and sink southward, and at the same time that jet stream getting more wavy, allowing for stronger ridges of high pressure, deeper troughs, and those deeper troughs allow colder air more frequently down into this more southern portions of the United States. That's something that is possible, but not necessarily proven at this point, something that people are certainly studying, Dexter, but really good question. Gregory, love the channel. How is it looking for tomorrow afternoon? Yeah, thanks for watching, Greg. Gregory, thanks for checking in, and again, this is the place to ask. We are talking on YouTube, but streaming on many platforms. ANF Plus right now streaming at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Roku, Amazon Fire, many places right now. Gregory, we can actually walk you hour by hour. You see, that's tomorrow morning's forecast, low temperature of 16 in Atlanta. That's before 8 a.m. though. Let's roll you through hour by hour. There will be some improvement tomorrow. And as we go deeper into the morning hours, notice how 11 a.m. temperatures are taking a minute to kind of catch up here. But by noon, I think we're above freezing in Atlanta. 34 in Atlanta, but still below freezing noon tomorrow. 30, Blue Ridge, Clayton 30, 28 in Calhoun, 29 in Rome, 30 in Dallas, 30 Carrollton. Nonetheless, the city of Atlanta thinking we're above freezing by noon tomorrow, Gregory. And as we get into the afternoon, we're going to drop that first alert. It's going to feel a little bit more comfortable, though still chilly. By no means is it going to be a warm Sunday, but Gregory, upper 30s and lower 40s across the board tomorrow afternoon. Chilliest up in the mountains. And it does look like even mountain communities, though you will be colder than the city of Atlanta, above freezing. So everyone, Gregory, back above freezing tomorrow. There will be a lot of sunshine out the door in the morning, much like this morning, though it'll be bitterly cold, as we discussed. And then we'll have some clouds make a comeback into the sky as we head into the afternoon. They're going to filter in very quickly, but I do think that there will be more clouds around tomorrow. They're going to be high-level clouds, so the sun will get through those clouds. There are those thin, wispy clouds made of ice crystals. Looks like, horse's mane up in the sky, and we'll call it a filtered sunshine for a time tomorrow. This particular forecast model is indicating that the clouds will be thickest, but I think still sun able to get through them north of I-20 tomorrow afternoon. So more clouds tomorrow, a little bit warmer, and then an even bigger jump up in our temperature as we get into the work week. Here is that 7-day forecast. Actually, let's start with low temperatures here. Look at this huge change. Again, 16 tomorrow morning, First alert to that, feeling like it's closer to 0. Another hard freeze Monday morning. Temperatures low to mid 20s across much of the metro. Teens really only in the mountains. 39 Tuesday morning, going to feel like a big warm-up with 39 degrees, first morning above freezing in several days, and 50 degrees for low temperature Wednesday morning, 58 degrees Thursday morning, 61 Friday morning. So Friday morning's low temperature of 61, nearly 30 degrees warmer than today's afternoon high temperature. So a big-time warm-up is on the way across North Georgia and Metro Atlanta, and unfortunately, though, that comes with a much gloomier setup. We're talking about days of clouds. It may be a while before we really see some full sunshine. Even tomorrow, there's some clouds back in the forecast, but it will be a while before we have a real sunny day on tap. Clouds rule the forecast through the work week. Scattered downpours, could be some thunder Wednesday. More widespread rain and a few thunderstorms Thursday, and that rain will be heavier on Thursday. Friday and Saturday, big question marks. Friday remains our first alert, but we've seen data trend drier today for Friday. We may be able to pare down that rain chance, drop the first alert, and say, hey, go out and complete your outdoor plans. But right now, data's a little inconsistent. The pattern is very difficult, and we cannot, put money on either scenario to any great extent at this point, because we're just a little bit unsure as to what is going to play out with the exact timing of the rain. We know it's going to rain. We know there will be several rounds, but Friday in particular trending a little drier, and Saturday maybe trending a little wetter. But timing, again, with rain next weekend is still a bit uncertain. We will likely need another first alert for the outdoor plans as we get into next weekend, as we continue to fine-tune the forecast and evolve the specific timing of the onset of the rain, the departure of the rain, and all that good stuff. But we do know it's going to rain. This is going to be a very wet storm system for much of the Mid-South, the Southern Plains, the Gulf Coast in particular, and portions of the Southeast, including right here in North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Want to thank you for tuning in. Time now is 8:25. Haven't seen any new comments here in a few moments, so do want to let you go. Hopefully you have a good evening. Hopefully you stay warm. Again, Karli Barnett and I back on Peachtree TV, Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW affiliate at 10 p.m. Then back on Atlanta News First, WANF. Tom and Jerry Fanatic 2024. What is the 3-degree guarantee? It is the guarantee that we will be within 3 degrees of the forecast high temperature. And today we did make that. We went for a high temperature of 32 yesterday evening for today, and we did manage to achieve that. High temperature was exactly 32, reaching that 3-degree guarantee today. So that would be another $50 in the bucket to a different charity each month. Each one is local, helping local folks. Ron Canella, thank you for watching and for tuning in. Hope you have a good evening. Again, thank you everybody for watching and for checking out the forecast. Reminder, First Alert weather app. We're going to be putting another updated video in here very soon, and you can get the latest First Alert forecast from the First Alert weather app, free, easy, on the go. Even if you're away from the TV this evening, you can be updated no matter where you are. And again, we'll be keeping you updated here as new data comes in. If anything, the only really change I foresee is I may drop the forecast low temperature another degree or so for the city of Atlanta. Going to leave you with a live look outside. This is Marietta Square, a frigid evening down to about 20 now in Marietta with a wind chill in the lower teens. Folks are out, but they're bundled up. Stay warm this evening. Another check of the forecast coming up starting at 10 p.m. on Peachtree TV.